Welcome to The Good Pod, where today we're talking The Good Wife, Season 3, Episode 10, Parenting Made Easy. I am one of your hosts, Jason Reed. With me, as always, a woman who also needs to get out there and make some more friends, Marissa Garza. Marissa, you good?
I'm good, Jason. I'm good. Yeah, applications are open.
Yeah.
I'm accepting applications for friends. Not easy to make them, but, open to having them. Yeah, Jason, are you good?
I'm good.
Are you sure?
Should I not be good? Are you?
I don't know. I'm just checking. 2025.
I feel like you're setting me up.
No, I'm setting you up. I just was like, you said I'm good,
like,
so I just really wanted to check in.
Are you sure you're good, Jason? Because what you don't know is I'm taking your whole family hostage. I don't know how you could be good. I just thought you were like setting me up or something. I don't know. It's like, you sure?
No, I am
like,
not.
Should I not be? I was like, a little nervous.
Anyway, we're here. You're here. What are we doing, Jason? We're talking Season 3, Episode 10.
A big episode. Huge episode.
Yeah.
A lot of things happened. I feel like we were right on track as a normal episode. I was like, oh, we only got like 2 plot lines this episode. I feel like we're doing good, focus on the right things. And then all of a sudden, bam, we end up taking the series. Like, what in the hell? What? I was flabbergasted about how this episode just changed on a dime. I was like, what the hell are we in now? What is going on?
It's definitely a pivot.
Yeah.
Definitely a pivot. Before we get into it.
Yeah, so
guys, we are like in a pod marathon, just FYI.
Yeah,
just so you know, we're like a little loopy, a little zany. We've been watching a lot of The Bear over on Whirlwind. We're covering that over there. We've been watching some Gilded Age. We've been watching this. We're doing it for the people, but
we're in a fog. We're in a little bit of fog. We're going to come out of it, though. And before we dive too deep into this episode, I want to remind you of some free and easy ways you can help this podcast. You can do that by reviewing, rating, and subscribing wherever you can do those things. If you just want to talk to us about our show, The Good Wife, whatever you want to talk about, we're here for you. You can email us at thegoodpodfeedback@gmail.com. As always, thank you so much for rating, reviewing, and subscribing. It really helps us get into the eyes and ears of more people out there who love The Good Wife like you do. So do all those things. We would love to hear from you.
yeah, it will, make sure that people could find us if we're lost or something like
Yeah.
that. Like, it'd be a really easy way to help us out there. Yeah, so there's a lot happening in this episode. So let's get into it. We have like a case of the week, but it's like a mini case junior. Mm-hmm. It's not that much, but it is pretty important. And I'm kind of going to weave this in with what's going on with the family because there's a direct timeline connection here. Alicia's having like these weird dreams at the beginning. This was a weird opening.
It's like a premonition, right? Because it kind of comes to pass in a way. It's like Grace like screaming for her in her dreams. I mean, I guess this is supposed to be related to Zach is now driving Grace around and she's worried about the safety of the kids while driving. I guess that's supposed to be what is invading her dreams.
I mean, I would be scared if Zach was driving because Zach, the only thing he knows how to do is computers. He doesn't know how to drive. Alicia calls in and like he's doing fine, but the kids know about this thing that's happening with this guy, Danny Pike, who's a white supremacist and has been getting rid of witnesses.
Did you remember who Donnie Pike was?
Oh, Donnie Pike was in the Colin Sweeney episode, which is why Colin Sweeney is mentioned. Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, because we set up Colin Sweeney to snitch on Donnie Pike. So Donnie Pike is probably going to be pretty mad at us for getting Colin Sweeney to snitch on him. Later.
Yes, later. So Alicia's on her way to help Caitlin at her first arbitration. Okay, we're in like some sort of university setting. And arbitrations are not like, they're legal decisions, but not set by a jury. It's for like certain, I don't really even know, but it's like only certain things have arbitration before they go
civil.
To like,
it's more civil than anything else. You don't take it directly to civil court. You kind of try to fix it in house, I guess. But yeah, it's like it's a baby's first arbitration, baby's first court thing. We're gonna get Caitlin's feet wet with arbitration.
And like she's nervous. She's like, I don't know if I could do this. And who do we see on the other side of the bench?
Oh, Caitlin.
None other than Martha, who
Martha,
is
yeah,
a
okay.
little pissed.
Yeah, Martha came in with an attitude. She came in with a fiery passion, and I'm sure when Alicia saw her, he's like, "Oh damn! Like this has to be the situation. It has to be Martha against Caitlin." And Martha comes in like last time we saw Martha, she was all prim and proper, polite, nice. Martha ain't having no shit right now. She's like, "Oh, so that's who you replaced me with, huh? That's who you decided that was better than me to get this job?" She's upset because she had to accept 20% less pay because she was going to turn down Canning and Associates before finding out she was fired. So I guess when she came begging back to Canning, he was like, "Hey, I'll hire you, but for less money, sure."
And Alicia's, I think you're a little young to be holding a grudge. And she's, whatever, lady. I'm going to hold my grudge.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, Alicia, shut up. Like, Alicia, how dare you? Let her be mad. Let her be upset.
And anyone can hold a grudge. There's no age limit on grudges.
Yeah.
Like anyone can, I'm sure there's like a 3-year-old that's still mad about
it's
something.
Like, Alicia, you are at the moment holding a grudge. So I don't know what you're even talking about, babe.
Yeah. For real. Well, the case at hand in front of the arbiter, who is one of Jason's favorite people, I think.
So let me tell you why.
Tell me why.
John Michael Higgins is a fixture in my household because on the weekends, me and my family love to turn on Game Show Network and watch America Says, who John Michael Higgins is the host of. So he's in our household every weekend. But of course, John Michael Higgins has done much more than America Says, but that's why me and my family love John. Like, when this came on, I told him, I was like, "Oh, it's John Michael Higgins. He's on the TV show." And it was like, "Oh my God, it's JMH." We call him JMH in the house because he's our guy. He's our America Says guy. But yeah, he was also in Best in Show, which is one of Marissa's favorite movies. And notably, he was also in Pitch Perfect with Anna Camp, a.k.a. Caitlin.
Yeah, so it's fun to see him here. And he is like, he's just going to run this for justice, not the fact that he's getting paid by the hour, but for justice. Yeah. And the case before us is the fact that there was this English professor named Pam, and she got fired. And what she's basically saying is that Mr. Clove fired her for reasons. There's multiple reasons. But at first we hear the story about how Mr. Clove, the provost, puts hands on people and gives massages, which is just not appropriate in any context. Not good. And Martha's defending Mr. Clove here, saying but this is a thing he doesn't. Everyone should know that, right? That's what it is. And when he gets on the stand, he's like, it's not because she dismissed my massage, which is just gross. It's because of these negative student evaluations. And during this entire time, Martha is making these noises, these vocalizations, trying to get under Caitlin, because Caitlin is nervous while she's trying to do this. But this only fuels Caitlin to really come out and say okay, if it was about the evaluations that came in 3 days after you fired her, it had to have been about something else. And he's like, yeah, it wasn't about those evaluations, about the verbal ones that had to do with politics.
And it's sure, buddy, sure, yeah, great.
Well, and he's like, oh, politics. Oh, so civil rights. This was a civil rights issue. This is when Martha's like, I'm out over my head.
Yeah.
I need to call in the reinforcements.
Yeah, because Caitlin's trying and she's nervous. Alicia is coaching her a little bit through this. And Caitlin, at first, this turns many times. It's okay, so it's because you got the shoulder rubs, right? He's like, no, not at all. Spoiler, not even spoiler. It's definitely about the shoulder rubs. He definitely fired her because she says about the shoulder rubs. He's like, no, it's because of the bad evaluations. Actually, no, it's also because of her political and religious affiliation is the reason why. And it's not because she has these affiliations. It's because she was vocal about them and got into so many disagreements and fights about her political and religious leanings. That's why she was fired. It's okay, sure. And as we're digging deeper into this, Martha's like, oh crap, let me call my backup. And our backup is none other than our guy, Michael J. Fox, a.k.a. Lewis Canning, one of the biggest devils in this TV show.
Ugh. And especially in this, it's very he had me going from, oh, I hate you, to, oh, you're great, to, oh, back and forth and back and forth. But you can definitely tell how these two characters of Alicia and Lewis Canning, feed off. Like they are definitely each other's matches in intellect, in arguments, in things like that. And he comes up and he's like, how are our children doing? And they like have a nice conversation outside. But then Canning reminds her, like, hey, there's a job waiting for you over there. And she's like, good to know. Good to know.
Yeah, I like how Lewis calls out the nepotism involved in getting Caitlin. He's like, so is she any better than Martha? He's like, she's good. He's like, come off it. Like, I know that Caitlin is David Lee's niece, and that's the order she got hired, so to save the drama. And I love how the relationship between Alicia and Lewis has evolved. Like, because Alicia now is, like, just looking at Lewis with such, like, contempt. She at times would be intimidated by Canning and all his nonsense and shenanigans, but I feel like she has a good handle on him now and knows how to handle and treat Canning now.
Yeah, she's like, oh, this suddenly got interesting for me. She's like, at first I'm just here to like support Caitlin, but now we gotta win that. We gotta go. So Mr. Clove is back on the stand, and Caitlin's like, there's just so many reasons. You're giving all of these reasons. Like, what is going on? She's like, it was these comments that saying that abortion was genocide that really got. And so Alicia leaves the room, and she goes and finds photos of like very like left-leaning things like that didn't exist yet, but of the Black Lives Matter.
I think it was like Occupy Wall Street. It was
yeah, that's what
it
was. Yes, yeah. That's where we were. I was like, where were
really puts you in a time frame, right? Like what was going on in the world, and you love where Alicia has this light bulb moment because Clove is sitting there trying to defend himself and like this is a very politically neutral workplace. Like we don't take a stand one way or the other. And Alicia's like, I recall seeing some shit on a cork board earlier. So she gets up, she starts to go to the cork board, and of course Canning's clocks this. He's like, he's trying to follow her. And Alicia's like, oh, do you want me to slow down for you? He's like, it would be the sporting thing. And the way that Alicia just tries to run down the stairs, like in her heels. Was so hilarious. She's like trying to run fast, but knows if she tries to go too fast, she'll trip up. And just the, I don't know if they meant for it to be physical comedy, but the physical comedy of seeing Alicia rush down the stairs in heels was fantastic. And the way that she was just like, there was a moment where there's been moments in Alicia and Canning's past where she's felt for him because of his condition. She's like, oh, I guess you want me to slow down because of your whatever. Tough luck, buddy. And just like zooms off.
Last time she did that, she like went to go pick something up. He went past her court, so she's like, I'm not falling for this again. This is not. I know your plays. Yeah, so there's like, oh, politically neutral. Look at all these posters up about Occupy Wall Street, about all of these things. And she's, hey, Mr. Arbiter, we have some other arguments about civil rights that we can present to you, but we're going to need another day. And this is when Canning reminds us and everyone that arbiters get paid by the hour. So of course they're going to be like, cool, I'll talk to you later. And of course, like, he's like, I am not going to shut down justice. Yeah. If we need to be here all week, we will be here all week.
You just see the frustration on Canning's face because it's just getting drawn out so much more and more and more. And like, this is kind of a moment where Alicia and Canning are kind of taking over their sides because both Martha and Caitlin are trying to talk like, and Alicia kind of like, oh, just sit down. I got it. This is more now about Alicia versus Canning than anything else.
Yeah, and Canning is okay. This could have happened, but like, why is it such a big deal? What are the damages here? Like a couple of paychecks? Like what are we talking about? And we see Caitlin make a call, and yeah. So at the same time, or later, like Grace has been calling this entire time. So they go home and Grace talks to Alicia. She's like, I'm so sorry I missed your call. Like, I'm really worried. Are you okay? And she's like, is it about Will? Zach met Will at the office. And I was like, oh, crap. And at the end of this conversation, Alicia's like, there's been so many distractions. And Grace is like, well, just get rid of them. And I was like, oh, okay, I guess that's it.
Yeah, and Alicia's like, you know what? I think I'm going to do that. And we'll talk more about how I feel about the Will Alicia of it all, but yeah. And I thought this was a very interesting conversation for Alicia to broach with Grace because Alicia wants to look at scripture about because we get movement on.
Yes.
We'll go back to it. We skipped a little bit of the revelation that Pam is a huge Christian Reformed person.
Yes.
And so
Yes.
Alicia wants Grace to point out some anti-gay scripture. And Alicia's like, is this what you believe? Like, this is how you feel about things? Because you're a big Bible person. You're a big religious person now, Grace. And I think Grace kind of gets called out a little bit. She's like, I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know how to feel. Because Alicia's like, you know your uncle's gay, right? So this is how you feel about your uncle? She's like, yeah, I'm not sure how to feel. I don't know. It's like, okay, I mean, cool. But yeah, that was an interesting little broach of a topic for Alicia to come up with Grace being like, you know, and for Grace.
Also, it's just Alicia. Why are you putting so much on your kids?
Yeah.
Like, I understand. Like, I love that their kids are involved or whatever. Like whatever, but not in this way. It's, I don't know anything about the Bible. Look up the freaking Bible.
Yeah.
Like, you are a lawyer. You know how to look up information. This is not obtuse to you. You know how to do this. And like, also the same thing. Like later, Zach is in the office in the computer again, and I'm like, why?
Like,
why are we here?
Why is Zach your IT guy? Why is Grace your researcher? What is happening? And the fact that Alicia's also like breaking down in front of Grace and being like, it's just too much to distract. Like, this child will remember this in therapy for years to come, because it's like, why are you putting this much information on your kid? And like, it real bad.
Yeah, it was bad. Yeah. So that happens after what I'm just about to say happened. I got a little off balance here, but Kalinda shows up at the room. It's not a courtroom, but in the room, and Alicia is so pissed.
Oh my god!
She's like, "What are you doing?"
Rolling her eyes, like looking at her with disdain. I'm like, "Oh,
can I help you?
My god,
can I help you?" I was like, "Get out of here, Alicia!"
And I mean, listen, this is probably one of the 3 or 4 times Juliana Margulies has like, okay, we gotta cap it at like 5 a season of how many times I can be in the same room with Archie Punjabi without throttling her, whatever the issue is. I don't know. But I don't think that contempt and that eye rolling, I don't think that was really a lot of acting needed there, because it felt very natural. And you just how Kalinda handles it. Kalinda like barely even acknowledges Alicia. Yeah. Just like talking directly to Caitlin, because I mean that is who Caitlin was calling when we left the last scene. And Kalinda has gotten Caitlin some information that she needs, and just Alicia's like, ugh, like, what are you doing here? It's like, oh, Alicia, come on, you are not helping your case to be a loved character here for me. I was like, I really didn't like this look for Alicia at all.
Yeah, agreed. But she's there because Galen had called her. Mm-hmm. And she brings, proof that Mr. Clove sent an email to a provost at another school basically saying, she's nice, but I have a real problem with homophobes. And so this goes back to the whole civil rights discussion.
Well,
because you can't persecute against someone's religion.
Yeah, and this ended up being like made more public than it should have been.
Yeah, he distributed it on like a server and like all of this stuff. And so basically it's being argued, like Canning is like, this was a private email. And Alicia's like, it was, and then it wasn't. So therefore it's still able to be used in this argument. And it comes out like that Pam said that queer people should be cured or could be cured. And once that happened, Canning's like, oh, that's not civil rights. That's hate speech. So it was right that she got fired. And then this is where Alicia is like, oh, okay, you're a Christian, right? Like Christian, right? Like that's what she's like, yeah, Christian Reformed. Okay, cool. Oh, I know who I could talk about with this. I'll talk to my daughter about this entire thing.
Yeah, so crazy, so nuts. And it's interesting that our firm is defending Pam, because Pam seems like a garbage person, which obviously our people have defended and went to bat for a lot of terrible people, but this is another level. It's like, whoa, yikes, this lady is not great, not cool. And to have Pam played by Jennifer Carpenter, who, for those Dexter fans will know, Deborah Morgan. I love Deborah Morgan. She's like she's a super great character on Dexter. And to have her play this person, I was like, oh my god, like it just made me like, how could you do this to Deb?
Be nice to Deb.
Yeah.
At the end of like this session, because of course the arbiter is like taking like as many breaks as possible, but the question isn't, was this religious speech, because like basically at one point Canning is trying to like defend the Bible. It's define the Bible. But the question is whether Mr. Clove knew that Pam was religious. And so he like dismisses everyone, and Alicia sounds like he's on her side. Like, what about that? And he's like, okay, let's make a deal. Let's go to lunch. And this is where everything goes crazy.
Yep.
So we're at lunch. Canning is saying like, there's still a job. Diana and Will don't have kids. They don't know what it's like. I have kids. I love my kids. I love being home at night, all of this stuff. And also we have like a different clientele. We're helping people that are making a difference in the world, not like drug dealers or corporate clients like you're doing over there.
Like Colin Sweeney. It's like,
yeah.
I mean, there's no argument to be made for Alicia's side. Like, I don't like the people you represent. Like, bruh. You represent Colin Sweeney. You represent Lamont Bishop. What are you talking about, dude?
Yeah. And during this conversation, Canning points out that Alicia's phone is blinking. Oh, remember that? Remember when phones had a
little light on the little itty bitty light on your phone.
Yeah.
Usually a flip phone. There's a blink like, hey, you have a missed call or a message or something.
Yeah. So good.
Takes you back.
So helpful.
Really takes you back.
So helpful. It turns out Grace has called like 12 times and has missed a call. And in the voicemail, it's basically like, where are you taking me?
Oh, my God.
Where am I going? It's like super.
It really was giving kidnapped vibes. I don't blame Alicia for like being like, what the hell?
Yeah. Yeah, she goes on the phone right away, calls Zach, because it's like, I'm fixing your computer, obviously. I had to stop by the office, obviously.
Bruh, this
every high schooler does in Chicago. Yeah. It goes to their parents' law firm after school, obviously.
Like, bruh, do you have a job here? Have you been officially hired? Because you are constantly here, quote-unquote, fixing the computers. I'm like, this guy is acting like this is his job. He's like, of course I'm at your office fixing your computer, because that's just what I do now. It's like, okay, I know we needed an excuse to have Zach interact at the law office with Kalinda, but I mean, there could have been so many other ways for that to happen, except for for Zach being the IT guy now. It's so bizarre.
So weird.
He's there without his mother. He is there. He's just showing up as a child to his mother's office to fix a computer. Like, I can understand coming in when your mother is there, but just to walk into the office like he works there is wild to me.
Oh yeah. The only, I was a child that was brought to work by my mom many a time. Filing done in my past. Lots of, little jobs. I was never trusted with IT. That wasn't something I was really trusted to do.
My mother...
But the only time I went in without her was, she forgot something.
Yeah.
And I, needed to go run and get it.
My mother was a school teacher. And, that'd be like me waltzing into, the teacher's lounge, make myself a coffee. If my mother was out for the day, she had such, I'm just here just to chill. I'm just here to do stuff. I'm here to grade papers for y'all. I don't know. It was so weird.
It was very weird. Zach's like, don't worry about it, Ma. She's probably, somewhere. And Alicia told Grace, if you're going to go anywhere, put a Post-it note on the fridge. So, don't worry about it. She probably just dialed you. It's no big deal. Canning, once he learns what's going on, goes into mode. Mm-hmm. He's like, okay, cool. I'll help you. I got a driver. Let's take it. Everything. I'm going to help you out here. And that was I was like, oh, look at you and your heart. I love you, Michael J. Fox. I love you. You're the best. But yeah, I don't know if that sticks around too long. When they get to the school, they talk to Shannon. Shannon's back.
Shannon's here. I thought Shannon had been left at the wayside. Because, a couple episodes ago, Grace was like, I don't have any friends. We're like, what about Shannon? And Shannon's still around. I guess Grace does have some other friends. I don't know.
And she's around enough to know that Grace got into a car with a man.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, and it's Shannon tells Alicia, he's some guy. I don't know, some tall guy. And Alicia's like, I know a tall guy. Was it Peter?
Yeah, well, and Canning's like, okay, what did he look like? He's really... And this is when Alicia calls Peter, and she's super distraught. She's like, I can't find her. I don't know where she is. And she got into a car with a man. And this is where, I'm going to get on something for a minute. And this is not against Peter. But you know how there was that whole conversation about the man or the bear? Uh-huh. Remember? Yeah. Why would women choose the man or the bear? We will choose the bear. Because even Peter, the man that Peter is, gets up and says, a man? Who did she get in the car with? A man? Oh my God, let's get the police. Like, this is it. Like, men are that dangerous. That is why we picked the bear. That is why we picked the bear. Even dangerous men know that men are dangerous. That's all I got to say on that one.
Okay. I feel like it's not right for me to defend my gender right now, so I won't do that.
It's not all men, but it is also all men. Yeah. I just had to get that out because I have something to say about Peter.
Oh.
I just have to say. But anyway, Alicia introduces, because Peter wants to talk to Shannon, and she hands the phone over to Shannon and says, "It's my husband." Mm-hmm. Not like it's Grace's father or anything like that. It's my husband. And I was like, oh man, okay, well, we're here now. Distractions, got to get rid of distractions. Meanwhile, back at the law firm, Kalinda is talking to Zach. Like, literally the second Zach says something, Kalinda's up out of her chair.
Like hovering. She's like, what's going on over here? Because, I mean, first of all, it is weird that Zach is here without his mother. Then at first, you'd be like, why is this kid here without his mom? Why is this kid on the computer?
On a computer.
But then she hears more about the situation. She's like, oh, like, but my nose in here. What's going on?
Yeah, and she finds a cell signal of where her phone was when it was dead, and it's in Inglewood, which is on the south side, and these are definitely Northsiders.
The south side? No.
Yeah, the south
The
side.
ghetto?
The south
Not the ghetto.
Obviously, if you're in the south side, you must be doing drugs, because that's like the next question out of Kalinda's mouth. It's like, drugs. Don't lie to me, Zach. You got to tell me. And she runs out of the law firm, goes past Will. It's like, I don't have time for you. This is really a thing that I need. Kalinda is Kalindaing to the best of her ability. Will calls Alicia, and Alicia's in the car with Canning and doesn't pick up the phone. And convinces Canning to drive her to her house so she could see if there was a note on the fridge.
Yeah. Meanwhile,
Peter's
like throwing his weight around. He's like, "Hey, I don't care what none of y'all say." Like, he literally tells Carrie, "Hey, Carrie, go get the chief of police. He's down in the other room. I need to talk to him." Like, immediately starts throwing his weight around. Like, I'm the MFing state's attorney. I'm gonna get things done my way. He's got a whole squad of police in his room. He's like, "All right, we're gonna go send the sketch artist to Shannon. We're gonna go do this, do that." I'm like, I mean. Yeah, if I was the state's attorney too, I'd be throwing my weight around too. But like, damn, he's just doesn't care.
Yeah, you're welcome as a citizen of Illinois. I guess you're welcome for paying for this search.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So they go home. There's no note, and Canning is there. Okay, like Canning is in the house, in the apartment, while this happens, and then Kalinda is questioning Shannon. It's like, did you talk to anyone? What about anyone online? Oh, online. And she, of course, is there before the police show up, before all of this stuff. And this is where Kalinda finds Grace getting baptized behind everyone's back by the internet dude.
Yeah, by Dreamy Christian Boy, which is like, how... Think about this in the lens of today, right? Like, there's some Christian influencer out there. Mm-hmm. Like, imagine that today. The fact this guy was a Chicago local, which I don't even think we knew at this point, like that she could just meet this guy, is weird and bizarre. But think about it in today's lens, like just going out and meeting a Christian influencer online has many different outcomes that could be possible here.
Yeah. Well, there was that one time where she was telling Jackie she was going to a Bible study that her mom already said she could go to, and I think it was with this guy, but like we've never seen in person these two people together. Yeah, together. But yeah, sneaky. She's getting baptized. Peter comes over to the house. Alicia's like out of her mind, doesn't know what to do. And Kalinda returns Grace to the house.
But before that, Alicia's in her room.
Oh yeah.
Looks at a nightie or like some lingerie, gets mad and throws it away. It's like, we'll talk about it.
I shouldn't have been so stupid.
Yeah, like, oh man, I shouldn't have had a romantic life. Throws it away. I'm like, what? Like, and we'll talk about how like I feel like this didn't match up to me in a way. As we wrap the whole storyline up, but it was such a weird moment for me. But yes, Kalinda and Grace are coming back in the elevator.
Yes, they're coming back in the elevator, and Grace is like, "Don't you want to come in? Like, my mom want to thank you." I don't know if you know about this like whole agreement about how we have to do this whole different television show now because of this entire situation. I will not be going in.
She's like, I was already in a scene with your mom once this episode. That's more than enough, more than I've been getting, so I don't want to push it.
Yeah. And Grace comes in. There's that hug between her and Alicia, and then Peter comes in, and then they pull Alicia into this hug, and there's a whole big family hug. And Will is just coming out of the elevator when the door is open. First of all, Grace, close the door. After all of this day, close the freaking door. But anyway, the door is open and he can see this and then he walks away. Yeah. Before we leave the Peter part, I will say I will be awarding Peter.
Oh, yes, I was waiting for this. I was wondering.
I will be awarding Peter a star.
Okay, a whole star. Wow, okay.
A whole star. He wasn't problematic. Yeah. He was really trying to keep like Alicia down, like not down, but like calm.
Hold her down, yeah.
Yeah, hold her. Yeah, like he used everything that he could to help and try and find his daughter. It was not motivated by himself. It was not like he didn't use this to try to get Alicia back together or anything like that. He took this as seriously as he possibly could, and he knew that men are dangerous. So therefore, I feel as though he has taken some, reflection, maybe. I don't know. That could be too much. But I will be awarding a whole star to this man for this episode.
Listen, I think the star is warranted. I was wondering, as I was watching the episode, I was like, well, Marissa gave him a star. I do think the star is warranted. Now, is it something outrageous or spectacular he did? Not really. He did what I think most parents would do in the situation.
The bar is that low, Jason.
Where are we at? I think we're at like a star and 3/4. So I think you did take a quarter star away.
Yes.
You don't want to even it to an even two. Maybe give him okay.
No,
leave it at a star and 3/4 for Peter.
Yeah, we got a lot of series to go. We got a lot.
Yes, true. So yeah, I think it's deserved. It's warranted. He was a good dad. He was a decent guy to Alicia. So, I mean, he really did a lot to, like, assure Alicia, like, because Alicia at one point was like, maybe this is Donnie Pike getting revenge. And he's like, no, it's not that. Like, calm down. It's going to be okay.
Yeah.
He didn't question her like an ass. But, like, she called you 12 times. You didn't pick up. What the hell's wrong with you? Some people might have done. But,
yeah.
So he was good. Yeah. Star very well deserved.
Yeah. I was like, again, the bar is on the ground, but way to go. Job. Okay, so why does this all of this have to do with the arbitration that we were talking about? So in the next day, we're back at arbitration, and Canning presents an email from Pam to her sister saying that she has to hide who she is at work because everyone seems to be anti-Christian here. And this gets alarm bells going off for Alicia because she's like, where did you get that? Where'd you get that email? And I did not see Canning in the house after this all happened, but his whole explanation was like, I waited till Grace was safe and then I took it.
Yeah, I was like, did you know? What? Did you? Because what I remember of Canning being in the house is like when she got right in the house, Canning was in the house, and I remember her throwing her suitcase down, and I want to say I saw Canning look in that direction. So I'm wondering if it was then, which was definitely before Grace was safe.
Yes.
I don't know if he's telling the exact truth here, but whatever. Because we didn't see him in the house after we found out Grace was safe at all. So I was like, I don't know. I don't know if there's like a plot hole missing or if there's a scene missing somewhere of Canning being in the house after Grace was safe. I don't know. Just doesn't seem to mash up. Doesn't seem to jive with what we saw.
Yeah. I think he's like trying to use this entire trip was a campaign to get Alicia to work for him because he keeps saying these things. Like at the end of this, basically to close up the case, the civil rights accusation doesn't stand because if she can't be herself there, then there's no accusation. So basically Canning ends up winning, and Martha don't want to forget her efforts that were shut down many times on this case. But at the end of this, he's like, you'll always be home for your kids. Kids need their parents. And Alicia has just gone through like this whole big thing with Grace. And so like he's using that moment to like reinforce that there could be a different place. There could be something else going on.
Yeah.
So that's what's going on with the case, but that's not what's going on with the relationship between the two of them, because two of them being Will and Alicia. But Will's got his own stuff that kind of ties into this at the end. Will Well, Diane is very much on the watch. Like, she has definitely got eagle eyes
Yeah.
happening. She's like, I'm watching you. Like, don't you think you should, like, have a conversation? And Will's like, don't mother me. Like, I can handle myself. I've always appreciated that you don't play games. And Diane's like, I don't play games unless it deals with my life. And your involvement with Alicia deals with my life. And it looks like they're in a conversation for a partnership renewal or something like that.
And listen, we are like kismet here because we're covering the bear right now, which also dealing with a partnership agreement. And it's like, oh, Will and Diane work on their own partnership agreement. So that's interesting. So yeah, I mean, listen, Diane has every right to be concerned here. It's like, yeah, if you get caught effing an associate, that definitely affects me and our firm's reputation. It affects everything that we're building here. So yeah, I'm not mothering you. I am protecting my assets and my my liability.
My career.
Yeah.
Kalinda goes and updates Will on things that he already knew, like the case is not about drugs, it's about corruption. And Will asks Kalinda to find out, like, how personal is this for Peter, even though Peter's removed himself from the case. How personal is it? And Kalinda's like, cool, I know just who to call. Let me call Dana and see what happens. Wendy Scott Carr, this is another reason why Peter gets the star, is because Wendy Scott Carr is in front of Peter asking for more money for this investigation. And Peter's like, you're taking this investigation to a place I didn't want it to go, but you can have the time but not the money, basically. Like, I'm not going to give you, he's like, you're driving the car, but I still put the gas in it. So you're only going to go as far as I fund you to go. Because and I thought I was like, okay. All right, Peter. It's not as obvious that this is about revenge in any way, shape, or form.
I think, I think I said something to the effect, like, the other episode of, like, I think there's going to be a point where Peter's like, oh, wait, this might affect Alicia directly? Like, I didn't want that exactly, because when he's like, yeah, we're just investigating the whole firm now, not just Will. And he's like, whoa. Like, I didn't want all that. I just wanted Will to go down, not everybody else. And you seems like you are going way beyond that scope. And, yeah, I like how he's kind of giving, like, a warning to WSC to be like, yo, calm down, girl. Like, I know I hired you to do this, but you doing too much.
You're only going to go as far as basically. Like, I've still got the purse strings. Yeah. So Wendy Scott Carr's like, okay, well, do we know of any cheap investigators, freelance investigators that we could hire? And of course, Dana's like, of course, because she's been around and has worked time, is totally. Like, yeah, I know a guy like Andrew. And Carrie's like, I don't know. And Wendy Scott Carr's like, no, let's go get him on the case. And so Andrew's back.
Andrew is back. I wasn't sure if or when we'd ever see Andrew again, but it's good to see him again with his unruly children. And so great. And let's not forget, like, Carrie is hesitant for good reason, because he and Andrew did not leave things on a great note, because Andrew was digging into Kalinda's stuff and Carrie didn't like that. Carrie was trying to call Andrew off of Kalinda, and Andrew's like, hey, bro, like, what are you doing? Like, this is not cool. So Carrie and Andrew don't have the best track record, even though Andrew was brought in initially by Carrie in season 2.
Yeah, and even Andrew's like, no, I don't want to do this. But then he ends up doing it, and he goes to visit Will at the basketball court. We have not seen Will on the court in a while. We have seen Will in court, but not on the court.
Ba-da-bumps.
And Andrew, like, introduces himself, and he's like, hey, does it matter if I'm an investigator for Wendy Scott Carr? And Will's like, oh, okay, I'll talk to you. And basically, they have this conversation about how Andrew says, it's really interesting that there's some cases that just, like, worked out in your favor. It's so interesting. And Will says, okay, like, pull the cases, and I'll show you, and I'll tell you how we won them. Like, it's not anything that I'm afraid to do. And meanwhile, his kid Angela's on, like, he brought a tricycle in to the gym. He's like going around telling his other kid not to have apple juice. Yeah. It was so
and
great.
The kid is like just circling Will and Andrew, and Will's like looking at the kid every now and then like, what the hell? And it's just like, sweetheart, you're gonna get yourself dizzy, you need to start doing that, as he's like in the middle of threatening Will. Like, so good, so funny.
It was good. Well, Kalinda had made that call to Dana and is looking for more information. So, of course, they have to meet up for drinks in a different part of the only bar in Chicago. And Dana is asking about Andrew, and Kalinda's like, "Yeah, I'm not going to give you any information on this. Like, I don't know what you're thinking. He's investigating us. No, thank you." And then Dana like just goes completely left turn. Is you haven't slept with Carrie, right?
It just wouldn't
Right.
it just wouldn't be a conversation with Dana if she didn't take it to a weird and unprofessional and unethical place. Like, girl, what are you doing?
Yeah. What? And Kalinda's what is going? And Dana goes on to say, Carrie talks about you when we have sex. And I'm like, why are you even talking about this? And Kalinda accuses Dana of flirting with everyone. And she's not really. And she says, I could say the same about you. And Kalinda's like, well, when I flirt, I follow through. Like,
you
playing
damn Skippy. That's right. That's right, Kalinda. Tell her. Like, girl, you are a pretender. You are just acting at what I do. I am the one, the only. When I do shit,
Yeah.
I get shit done. You are just a weird teasing person that's not serious. I don't know what you are, but I am the real article here.
I did not like this entire conversation
No.
between the two of them. It was very awkward.
All the Dana scenes end up being just really awkwardly just uncomfortable. It's like, oh, I
Yeah.
don't like it.
Yeah. So Will meets up with Kalinda after he goes and sees the fam's back together over at the Florix and has an interesting conversation with Kalinda about commitment. And does he want commitment? Does he not want commitment? Does he want kids? Does he not want kids? Like, what did you take away from this conversation?
I kind of think Will doesn't know what he wants because he's like, I know I want something more than work. He's like, I spend my whole life getting ahead, and now I'm just asking myself why. And I think Kalinda even asked him outright, like, do you want kids? And he doesn't really answer the question. He's just like, I just want something more. And Kalinda's like, well, do you know that's what Alicia wants? He's like, nah, but I'll ask her. What's the harm I could do by asking her? And then he proceeds not to ask her for reasons. And I did find it interesting that when Will and Kalinda met up earlier in the episode for Kalinda to tell him about the investigation, he's like, so let's say that I made some changes in my personal life. And Kalinda basically is like, you mean if you stop effing Alicia, will this go away? And Will's like, oh, you know about that. So yes, will it go away if I stopped effing Alicia? She's like, I don't know. And it's like, and so now pretty much everything's out on the table now because Kalinda's now just comfortable with me like, well, do you know if that's what Alicia wants? He's like, I don't know. I'll go ask her.
But he never gets the chance to ask her because Alicia, after going through all of her tumult, all of her stuff that was going on, basically just comes into Will's office. Will is like super nervous, first of all. He's like going from his couch to his chair. He's going to different places in his office. And Alicia walks in and basically just says, Will, yeah, like, I can't do it. I'm so sorry. I'm going to miss you. I'm done. So that's it. And then they hug and then break up and then that's it. And she walks out and she cries.
Yeah, like it's this.
Like,
it was so weird. Okay, so if this, I don't remember any more about the Will and Alicia relationship.
agreed.
So if this is the end of the relationship for the rest of time, I would say this is kind of a letdown in terms of their relationship. I don't know if we come back to a relationship at any point, but if this is it, this was a letdown. We didn't spend a lot of time really talking about the relationship in these 10 episodes. We saw some hot and heavy moments early on, but then for the last few episodes, it's just been kind of in the background. And I talked about the moment earlier in this episode where she like gets mad at the lingerie and throws it in the trash. I just don't feel like for the show wants me to believe is that this relationship got in the way of the relationship with her kids. But I'm like, I didn't see that.
I didn't see it either. Yeah.
It would be one thing if Alicia was ignoring Grace's calls while getting banged by Will, because then
she literally picked one up when that was happening.
Because then she could say, yes, this relationship with Will is affecting my kids and my relationship with my kids because I'm too busy balancing both of the things, which I don't think the show did a good job of illustrating that. Alicia did not get the messages, did not get the calls because she was in court. So if anything, she should be like, my job is getting in the way of my relationship with my kids. But she chose to make it about the relationship with Will, which I was like, it doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't jive.
And the funny thing is, the answer to all of this would be to go work for Canning. She could still date Will because they wouldn't be in the same place. She could be home for her kids. She wouldn't be working late hours. The distractions would have been quote unquote a little bit managed. So it does, like, I agree with you that like this is, it's like the lighthouse is shining on the wrong thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, I don't know if she's like trying to, like, she's self-sabotaging this thing with Will, if she really did feel like it could be more and is like scared of it, but we never got to explore any of that. We just saw them like messing around in, we definitely saw Will catch feelings.
Yes, for sure.
Like Will was definitely in it. But we never really saw that from Alicia. And so I also don't remember what happens, but I also remember it being better than this.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I was like, was I just like so young that I was like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
that's like the elevator, and that like carried me on for like years? Or like, is there more that I forgot about? And I'm hoping it's more than I forgot about.
Yeah, it could definitely be our nostalgia brains messing with us to make us think this was bigger than it actually was.
Yeah.
But like, I just feel like it was such a miss because we had so many questions about the Will and Alicia relationship. We had so many of these times where Alicia was not taking the relationship as seriously as Will, and I was waiting to explore that, and it seems like we just got cut off at the knees, which, I mean, if we come back to it later, mea culpa, and we explore those themes later, great, fantastic. But if this is all there is to the relationship that there ever will be, I will feel let down by what we didn't get to explore in the relationship. I'm sure there will be reverberations, there will be other things coming out of this moving forward if there is no other relationship between them, because there will be feelings involved more still, the lingering feelings, because Alicia doesn't really want to do this. She likes Will, but she, for whatever reason, feels like she can't carry this on while also being a mother.
It's not what a good wife would do. You know, like, I don't know if she's fallen into that, but that's a generous read on the situation. Yeah. I'll even say it's generous on my part.
Yeah, it was a weird decision for her to make, because I don't feel like the show really illustrated that correctly. I don't know if the show is looking at this like, yeah, see, she can't do both things. I'm like, you didn't really show that though. And
right.
Yeah, so it was weird.
Man, if this was The Bear, we'd have a whole season on just this.
For sure.
These 3 days. Like, it would have been the whole thing. But Diane sees this all happening, right? Like, she sees this hug, and she sees Alicia leave the office crying. And so she thinks, she's like, he listened to me. My Will's here. So she goes in and comforts Will. She's like, you did the right thing. She'll get over it. And Will's like, yeah, she'll get over, like, she will. Like, I don't know if I will, but she will.
Will's like, yep, I sure did do the right thing. It's like, Will, you didn't do anything. Stop it. She broke up with you.
Yeah, so we'll have to see where that goes. One small mention to Eli's lack of a storyline, but also sort of a storyline. He has run out of clients. He lost cheese. Mm-hmm. He has nothing going on. So he is just moping around the law office and letting Diane know where there's cracks in the ceiling. And she's like, okay, like, you have to make friends here. Like, you want clients, you want people to give you things. You have to make yourself known, because David Lee is working on a congressperson's divorce, and like, Eli's automatically like, oh my gosh, really? Like, who? Like, he's like, go make friends with him. And she also is like, you pissed Will off so much, he's not gonna like talk to you. So we get a bunch of these scenes of like Eli lurking around the office until he ends up in Will's office, and they have this interesting conversation where he's like, well, you want my clients, right? He's like, yeah, how do I incline you to want to give me your clients? And it's really this whole time, I'm like, this is, Eli cannot share. Like, he cannot share. He cannot be nice. Like, he doesn't know what it's like to work on a team. He's very much, again, not because I've been watching The Bear, but he is very much trying to do it on his own, like a number of characters in that show. And so he doesn't want to share, and Will uses this opportunity to say, like, I could give you some stuff. Your other boss over there, Peter, is investigating me. And one thing about being on my team is, like, if I'm hurt, you're hurt. So wouldn't it be cool to know, like, what's going on? And Eli has no idea that this is happening. So I'm assuming in the coming episodes, we will have an Eli-Peter conversation that will be not fun.
Yeah. It'll be fun, but I think it'll be good to see. Yeah, again, Eli also seemingly knows about Will and Alicia, because he's like, why do you think Peter's investigating you. I think I know why he's investigating you. I think you know why he's investigating you. I'm not going to say it out loud, but it just feels like everybody now has like just kind of knows at this point about Will and Alicia. So yeah, I love that Eli is mixing it up with other people besides Diane. Of course, he and Diane do have like great chemistry, but you know, it's like good to see him not mix up with people. I feel like they're dangling an Eli David interaction in front of us, and they're like, "You're gonna get it one day, but not yet," because that's gonna be like fireworks when it happens.
Well, and also, you know, to go back to the whole like investigation part of it, like Peter is also aware that Eli is there, so it's also like not only will it affect Alicia, it will also affect Eli, and he needs Eli to go further in his political career.
Well, it just shows how short-sighted Peter was in this moment of being like, get Will, and not realizing the impact, the ripples it will have in the rest of his life when doing this. He thinks he can isolate it to just Will, but no, it's going to go so much further, especially since you put someone else in charge of it.
Yeah, revenge is never simple, I think, is what we're learning. At least what I'm learning. Not that I'm a very vengeful person. But anyway, that's our episode.
Oh, that's not what I've heard, Marissa. This is not what I've heard. Yes, that was our episode for the week. Marissa, do you want to fill the people in on where they can find you online and what you're up to?
We, Jason, are a couple of places. As aforementioned, we are over on Whirlwind Podcast talking about The Bear, going through season 4. So if you want to listen to us talk about that, you can go over there. We're also talking about The Gilded Age on our sister pod, The Gilded Pod. Different feed than this one, but we did drop the premiere in this feed. If you missed it or curious as to what that is all about, you can go over there. We're covering season 3. Other than that, I'm also back on Whirlwind talking about Pretty Little Liars on Previous Little Liars, where I'm watching Pretty Little Liars, one previously on at a time. It is as chaotic as it seems. And if you want to catch me anywhere else, you can go to itsmemarissag.com, and I have links to everywhere else that I am. Jason, where can the peeps find you?
Yeah, I've got a lot going on. Luckily, Marissa, you already covered 2 of the things, so it makes my list a little shorter. This week, I was on the podcast Rob and Akiva Need a Podcast. You've heard me talk about it before because me and Marissa were on that podcast once before. I'm back on it doing what they call the Runap Olympics. So we played a couple little fun games, a couple of which dealt with the movie Cool Runnings, which I had to watch again, which was very fun. A great blast from the past for me. But yeah, you can find me there this week. You can also find me on Recap Kickback coming up this week. I'll be talking about the show Ironheart with my friend Chappelle, with Mari. So we are going to have a blast talking about that Marvel show that came out recently. You can also find me on my podcast, The Perfect Match. We just started a Patreon podcast. That is a podcast where we talk about the show Married at First Sight. We are talking about old seasons since there is not a new season on at the moment. So that is on Patreon. So you go to patreon.com/perfectmatch podcast. You can find me and Asia Welch there as we talk about older seasons of Married at First Sight. So if that's something that you are down with, come find me there. That is what we have for this week for The Good Wife. And until next time, stay good.